This particular video is about planning. Now, when I used to work in a software house, as a quality assurance person, I read a book. The cover of the book said, "Failing to plan is a plan to fail." Now, it's a very important thing since, I read that, it is engraved on my mind and I have implemented that, in my life. And it has helped me, in such a big way that I am always able to, almost always, obviously not under all the circumstances, almost always I am, 99 times out of 100, that is, I'm able to achieve my targets. And why is that? Because I always have a plan in front of me. Because as I said, failing to plan is a plan to fail. So don't make a plan to fail. It means, jot down things that are to be done by you. And how are you going to do that? I instigated your mind in the last video by using the concept of SMART, that the objectives, the targets, the plans, they need to meet the SMART criteria. And what do we mean by that? Your objective, it needs to be specific. Okay, what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to achieve an A star? Are you trying to achieve an A or a B or a C or a D or an E? Obviously, D's and D's are not supposedly targets. They are very bad grades. So obviously, you have to set your sights on a high target. So, set yourself a target, an A star or an A. Okay. Obviously, those of you who don't know what an A star is, it means, when you are achieving results which are above 90%, and A means 80 to 90 and so on. Okay, so you have to have a target in your mind. That's the first thing. Specific. Then measurable. Obviously, when we are saying A or A star, we are able to measure that as well. 90 to 100 or 80 to 90 or 70 to 80, that is the measuring part of things. Achievable. Do you think, you have enough time to achieve the target? Do you think you have enough resources to achieve the target? Do you think you are good enough to do a target? You have to be an optimist, by the way. If you are going to think negatively of yourself, you will never be able to achieve the target. So see the glass half full and try to make it full. You always have the ability to make it full. Fine. Don't see the glass only. Try to make it full as well. Okay. Fine. So specific, measurable, and achievable. The targets, they have to be relevant. Fine. Obviously, when you are setting yourself targets, for example, if you are doing MBA, in MBA, you are going to set yourself target for, some kind of business exam, which is happening right now. You are not going to set yourself targets, for the next year, which are not going to be relevant for the time being. So they have to be relevant as well, and time specific. You have to know that how much time is available to reach the target. So once you are planning, you have to meet the SMART criteria. That is, all your objectives or your plans, they need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time specific. Okay, so that's the first and foremost thing that needs to be kept in mind. Okay, so you have to make a plan. Now, a lot of students, what they do wrong is they are going to assign themselves targets in terms of hours. Okay, I'm going to study this subject for 1 hour and that subject for 1.5 hours and the other subject for 2 hours. Now, these hours are quite misleading. So don't fall in this trap. You have to set yourself targets in terms of curriculum. Half a chapter, quarter of a chapter, 2 questions, 5 questions. It has to be specific. Time is not important. Sometimes our efficiency levels are very high. Sometimes our efficiency levels are very low. So you have to set yourself targets, not in terms of time, never in terms of time. Fine. Unless you are sitting inside the examination hall, yes, then time management becomes very, important as well. But outside the examination hall, once you are preparing for the exam, you should not be falling in the trap of, time-based targets. No, the targets should not be time-based, they should be curriculum-based. You should be dividing the curriculum into small chunks, and those chunks should be then allocated as targets on daily basis, on weekly basis, on fortnightly basis, and then on monthly basis as well. You cannot have, long-term or macro targets only. The targets have to be small, then medium, and then long. So, short-term targets, medium-term targets, and long-term targets. Usually, you don't have to go beyond 1 month, because then, things are unclear. They become ambiguous, and, they go beyond your control. So, plan properly. Fine. Set yourself proper targets. And once you are going to set yourself targets, you are going to have, a benchmark or a target that is in your mind, that you are able to, understand that you have to achieve in a day, sometimes in a week, or sometimes, in 15 days, that is a fortnight, or in a period of 1 month. So set yourself targets and become optimistic about achieving the targets. The targets should be, curriculum based and not time based. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next clip.